Where's the remote? Found it.
Turn off the lights.
All right.
Did you grab the drinks?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay, I'm making the popcorn.
It's starting. Come on.
All right. Okay, I'm here. Hit the button. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna. And welcome to the We Watch It All podcast, where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions no one ever asked for.
And just in case you've been following the saga, the laptop is officially in the hands of Apple. It's like saying it's in the hands of God, because it really is. So if you could just keep us in your thoughts.
And your cheaper prayers.
I don't even know what that means. Never heard that saying.
You're looking for cheapness.
Oh yes. Make sure it's the cheap. Make sure they don't increase the quote. Also make sure I don't lose any data on the laptop, because they said that was a possibility. So that's not great. But yeah, so we're gonna use our little makeshift little setup right now, and we are gonna cover Andor episode 7, Narkina.
I don't even know the name of it.
Narkina 5. Narkina.
Yeah, Narkina.
Narkina 5.
Yeah.
All right.
Here she goes. 5 different ways to say it.
We're gonna break it down by people. We're gonna do Karn and Deidre, the ISB, Mon Mothra, Ferguson Luthen, and then Andor by himself, as always.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're just gonna hop right into it. Oh, just because I know maybe you don't want to listen all the way to the end, so let me catch you now. We're going to upload Tales of the Jedi. That's Ahsoka and Dooku's show.
So you're saying people are not going to listen all the way to the end? Nobody heard that. Because I'm going to tell you, every time she says we touch those microphones, nobody hears it. Though. Nobody hears it. I couldn't even hear it.
Have you listened to the episode where the mic gets fully kicked over onto the ground?
I'm not that close.
No, she's so far behind.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
She's in the timeline. She-Hulk still is airing for her. Hell, look. No, I'm not saying nobody's listening to the end. I'm just saying, just in case you don't, and you just whatever.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
I'm just letting you know, Tales of the Jedi is going to be a separate episode up right now already with this podcast as well. But just want to let you guys know that. So go ahead, listen to that. Ahsoka and Dooku's show. It's just like a short. We're gonna do them all in one thing. All right, but for now, we're gonna do Andor. We'll start with Karn and Deidre. So basically, Deidre calls Karn in, and she kind of makes it seem like at first like she was going to be there questioning him about what's going on with Ferrix and, help. And then she actually says, oh, no, I'm actually bringing you here because you keep submitting requests and trying to find stuff about like Andor. And then he submitted 6 in the past month. So I guess we're doing a little 1 month time jump since... I guess he started working there.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe it was a month from there, and then
so that means
when we saw Andor on that planet, I can't remember what the planet was called at the end of the last episode. That was probably a month from when he left Marva, I would assume.
Yeah. So he's been gone for a month. Wow.
Yeah, which would make sense because we do find out later in the episode that Marva is sick. So that makes sense how like it wasn't just like overnight. She just rapidly declined. It was like over a month.
Oh, I mean, let's be real. She looked old to begin with.
Yeah,
she didn't look young.
And he shares with her that he's never seen Belvin's reports on Ferrix and that he was actually forced to sign it. So she requests that he basically gets these reports to like look over them, and he does.
I don't understand. Like, she's not going to, not that she's not going to use him for help, but like, what was the point of him looking over any kind of reports and stuff if she wasn't going to like either listen to what he had to say?
Well, I guess he did give her like a little bit of info, but I think he thought by once he got the reports was that like he was going to be like a help of her, and she kind of tells him that she'll have them say, he was a help to the Empire, but he's got to stop following these reports. And he does try to convince her to like be like, oh, I can help you with this. Yeah. And she basically says, if you do one more report, it's going to be someone higher up than me taking care of this situation, basically. And also with like the IBS / kind of Deidre, she ends up telling me, did I call them IBS again? Just go with it at this point, all right?
Irritable bowel syndrome.
Pretty much.
What is it, the ISB?
ISB, but IBS sounds, it's more flowy because everybody knows what ISB is. So they're the ISB in my eyes, so you're going to just have to move on and get over that. She basically tells them that about Andor and the Starpath unit, and she believes that he was talking to Axis, which we obviously know is Luthen, but that's what they're calling him, as Axis, because he's like the...
Yeah, they gave him a little Nicky name.
The point of like all the rebels basically are all coming back to this one Axis. Little math for you.
But you know what? They get what's her name, Bix, and I don't even know that. Well,
I separated that into our.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm not going to go too far, but I'm just saying
I'm just
on that. What you were saying that they're calling him Axis. Like, I don't even know that I don't even know that everybody knows his name, because I don't even know that Bix knows his name.
No, it doesn't seem like
because she never really called him by name, and even when he asked, when Andor asked her, she's like, I don't even know. Like, I don't really know him. So like. I think it was whoever answered that other line, you know.
Yeah, like I think she just knew him as like a collector, basically.
Yeah, I don't think she knew what his name was. So whatever they're going to end up doing to her, it's pointless because...
She doesn't really know.
No. And it seems like he goes by other names for other... Oops. To knock my glasses off my face. Like in the collector's thing, I don't think he goes by that name there either, does he?
I don't think he goes by Luthen. I can't remember.
No. So it's like, you know...
Yeah. Which, speaking of going by different names, something that I think is really interesting is that the Empire tries to be this whole, like, big, tough, they're powerful, they can't be defeated type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can't even put two and two together that Keith, who's Andor, is Andor. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you have no technology when you, like, I don't know, like, nobody scanned his face when he was going into prison, because you have that picture, that wanted sign of him, and they didn't see that scan and come up and go, oh my God, that's Andor.
No, but they didn't, I mean, they didn't show
anything. No, I know, but I'm
like
just
that,
saying.
Which is
like,
weird.
Also, like, they just took him in and they were like, yeah, your name's Keith, and just validated that. It was kind of weird.
I don't think they really care, to be honest with you, because I think they just want, after watching the episode, I think they just want people in those factories.
Helping. No, yeah.
So I don't think they care really.
I mean more of like
if he was a prior criminal or something, yeah.
I just like I'm trying like
No, I know what you're saying, but
yeah, like
maybe
they don't have anything to verify.
No, but it might be that particular place where he was. Maybe they don't. Yeah, they don't have that, but maybe another place probably does. Maybe like more like of the. Like, wasn't that like really like a resort town or something? They were trying to paint it.
Yeah, but I mean, you could tell. But what was interesting? Well, obviously. Once we get to Andor, they assess him of like where he should go based on what he is. So there was people going to different transports and things like that. So I don't know. They might not even carry your name. It's just an assessment of who you are. And then Mon Mothra's, who seems once again just I don't know, didn't feel very important. She speaks with her husband that she needs to get votes. They're hosting the 1000th party they've already held in this damn house.
I know. The only thing I can think is that they're just trying to show like her carrying on normally and trying to keep perpetuating this like, you know, she did meet with the banker guy who
that was probably the most important part.
She was trying to figure out, you know, can she get this money?
Well, yeah, he said
he's saying no
new banking regulations, so it's
which is funny that she said, you know, they're giving her a new driver, a new like, what was the other thing? It was a new driver, is it a guard or something around her or something?
I think that's the driver is the guard as well. I don't really know.
I don't know, but they're changing all that on her. So, I mean, maybe the bank is also like they're telling the banks not to do anything or.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's just that. Like, I think it's the bank in general with this new PO.
Oh, that's right. They're not going to give out any money.
Yeah, I think it's like that. And then one of the other interesting things I thought was her daughter notes that like the banker guy's there all the time now, and that she's like drinking this drink that she normally wouldn't drink. And I think this daughter is definitely up to something.
Yeah, I think
like she's too aware. And then she also speaks with other people in the Senate, and that's really it for her.
And the conversation makes no sense. It's just like, why are we even watching this lady have this?
Yeah, because they're like talking about like, oh, is there more? Like, do you feel better with more regulations? No, like, it was, yeah.
Yeah, it's like weird. We already know she's a rebel. Like, it's kind of.
I guess she's trying. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
It sounds like someone. I know. I've listened to these now, and I know you guys can't hear it. But let me just describe it. It sounded like someone starting up a motorcycle in the apartment next to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw this man on the elevator this morning. I know he didn't bring no motorcycle up. And then, so now we'll do Ferrix and Luthen, because Luthen kind of has the small stuff, but it's kind of like interlaced with what's going on in Ferrix. So we see that Bix is taking care of Marva. How I said she's kind of like getting sick now.
She's not doing well.
and Brazos comes to see her, which is interesting because I think I mentioned last week, I was like, doesn't Andor have a debt to pay to him? Oh no, he might have paid him before he left.
I don't know if he owed him money.
I thought maybe so. Or something.
No, I think you were talking about the guy in that yard where.
No, not him. Brazos, that guy, the big guy.
I don't know. I don't know if he.
I thought so. Maybe he did pay him off already. I can't really remember. But Bix ends up telling him that she tried to see if there was this hole that was under the hotel to see if the rebels can like sneak in, and that's how she kind of got like really injured, basically.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I wonder if that will be used. Like, they didn't really specify if she did find out if there was a hole there or not.
She could have.
You know, which would be interesting. I could see that being like, that was like a setup for something, maybe like for them to take back this hotel at the end of the season.
Maybe, yeah, they're gonna come in that way and do that. But they then you see Val and Cinta, they're like across the way or something in some kind of like restaurant-y type thing, and they're like they're watching the door for pointless. He's in jail.
No, I thought they were watching Brazos and Bix.
Yeah. They were at their mother's house. I think they're assuming if he's going to return, he'll return to the mother's house. Girls. Yeah, a little late. You just missed that boat. He's already gone and now in jail.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, it's just amazing that no one can.
Like no one has scanner. Even
there's no
even with a different guy
or nothing. It's weird. That's weird. But they agree that like Cinta will stay in the rented room so that she can keep her eye on, like if he were to come back. I don't know what that meant for Val. Like where was she going? Because she was just on a train. Like
I don't know. Maybe she's going back to Luthen or something.
I don't know. She's going back to the rebel base that they have. I don't know. I don't think they have all that yet, like they did in Rogue One.
And then Bix tries to call Luthen, but that girl Clea picks up. And she kind of tells Luthen that, they shouldn't pick up and they should just shut down everything on Ferrix, which is what they end up doing. They disconnect from Ferrix.
Yeah.
The next day we find out that they took the guy Pack, Big's friend.
So do you think it's because they found out that he was trying to use, because why else would they have taken him?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe now like the radio comms are going through the Empire. Like, do you know what I mean? Like maybe they were able to pick up on radio waves.
I imagine it was. And I have a feeling he sadly gave her up. Especially after you've seen towards the end.
Yeah, I think he probably might have. They try to get her. She runs. They inevitably end up catching her, and they bring her to Deidre.
Yeah, because I think Luthen's answer was like not to pick up the phone. That he'll just let Val and Cinta like investigate it.
If shutting it down, like some kind of signal or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think probably the Empire's just like tapped into like all the phone signals going out of there and they're listening to all the calls and it happened to be that one. Because she did say like that she's looking for Luthen and not Luthen. She was looking for Andor and things like that. So I think that's what it was. So maybe, you know what? Maybe he didn't even give her up. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because didn't she say Clea that it was Bix calling? Right, so maybe she gave herself up, but they just picked him because they have to reprimand him for letting her use the phone, basically.
Maybe.
And then she was next on the list. Luthen then goes to Serja Milo, and he meets with Saw Gerrera, who we obviously know from Rogue One, and they talk about Aldhani. They both kind of are like, "Oh, it's not me," which I think is interesting that he won't even tell him that he did Aldhani. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's trying to keep it that low that like he's almost keeping it from rebels are keeping everything from each other.
He doesn't tell anybody. But yet they're trying to get Saul to become like one with them.
Yeah.
But he's gonna recognize that he's lying to him. Like I think like he's just gonna know and then that's why he's not doing it. But at some point I guess they do come together because in Rogue One they do work together, right?
Luthen's not in Rogue One at all.
Oh, but I'm saying he's with the rebels with Andor.
Well, no, I think he's more with...
How is Luthen, whatever his name is, not in it if Andor and that lady is in it in the rebel scenes?
What lady?
Mon Mothma?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It sounds like a...
Like, do they take their kid in the hall to cry to not disturb them? Because you're disturbing everybody else. No, Saw Gerrera's in it, but that's more related to...
No, I know he's in it, obviously.
I don't really know. I truly don't know anything when it comes to this Andor stuff. And at the end of every Andor episode, I still feel like I don't know. We still go,
what was that really about? What was that really about? I mean, I don't know. They're competing in some kind of workman's, I don't know, shift thing. It's weird.
it does then, Luthen tries to offer a trade with Saw by saying if he meets with Anton Krieg, he'll give him like these items to trade with. I don't know who that is. I don't know what that's about either. But obviously,
he sounds like he's probably
I don't know, maybe
another rebel.
Or like he's setting himself up for like the same issue he had with Andor, probably is what I'm seeing. Which, how could you be such a fool when you're literally trying to catch the guy that you just, I don't know. On to Andor as our last little topic. We see the troopers put him. But we see the troopers put him on a transport to Narkina 5, and that's where we find out that it's a factory for the Empire, and they all got chosen there to do labor work, basically. What's so interesting is this facility, like the outfits, like that the Empire or the officers are wearing, are so different from ones that we've seen. Like the boots, they look like
well, the boots are meant to keep them safe from the floors.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize
that's why
they
look like almost like a snow boot or something.
Well, you know what they look like? They look like the boots you would wear if you like broke your leg or heel. Or
it does. It looks
that's
very
like
expensive.
What it kind of.
I watched one of them walking in them, and they look very clunky.
Yeah, they almost look like space shoes.
Yeah,
too.
like that's what I was saying. Like space shoes or like really big snow boots. But he was clear. That's how I feel that he was watching them. Like you could see him watching it, and I'm like, oh no, those boots, they have to be what? Because I couldn't figure out when he gets off the plane, and they're all standing there at the edge of that tunnel, and those 3 men come up, the 3 guards, and they're like, I bet you're wondering how you're standing here without a weapon in our hand. Thinking you're not going to come at us, and he pulled like something out. He pressed a button, and like they all instantly like fell like to the floor. And I'm like, how are they doing it? Did they put like something in him before he like got here and we missed it? But I'm like, he was never asleep or out of commission. So I'm like, they couldn't have shot him with like a
I don't really
something.
I still
but
don't.
It's the floor.
Oh, you think it's coming from the floor?
Oh no, it's coming. They said it was coming from the floor.
Oh, so that sounds coming. But I thought when the floor turned hot. Like
no, when it's electrified. So when they press that button,
it shocks the floor.
It sends a shock, and that's why they have them barefoot on the floor.
Oh yeah,
because they kept focusing on their feet, and I'm like,
I don't want to keep seeing
why
do
they keep showing the feet? And they showed it on the ship that they were on.
They were like, take your shoes off.
They made a point of that, so that when they got off there, they were on. Because I'm like, what else could it be? And then when I saw those boots, and he was looking at them, putting it all together, I'm like, oh, it's the floor. That's why when they took him down that grate into the area where they did the work, he had that like poker thing that was electric, because that floor wasn't electric yet.
Yeah.
Because it was a grate that was moving. So it was
I thought the floor was just like burning, scalding hot. Like
I guess it electrifies you, but
which makes sense.
Why they tell them they have like 3 seconds to get in the pod.
But I was wondering too, because when they shut so basically the way it works is the pods that they're in, they say they give you a certain amount of time, and then when the light goes red, don't step on the thing, otherwise so I guess what happened was, because one guy ends up doing it on the floor when it's red, that must be the level 3, like pretty much instant death, I guess, is level 3, and I guess they got shocked with level
1. I think that's what he wants.
Because at first, when they first showed that in the first day where he steps down, I'm like, I thought, because they called it like hot floor or something, right? Or I can't remember what they called it. They referred to it as like the floor being hot almost. I thought it meant that like when they would step on the floor, it'd be like burning hot. So I was wondering like how they just shut it off and he was able to step right on the floor, but that makes sense because it's not, it's electrified, not like, I thought it was like almost like the floor is lava game.
Oh God.
That's what I was thinking in my head, which, you know what? Oh, I'm thinking so many things now. I was also kind of wondering why they were like, no 2 people in a bunk, because now what I'm thinking is technically Andor, right? He could jump across, like going back and forth, like jumping each cell to cell to cell to cell to get to the door. But it would register that there was a second person in that bunk. So that's probably why they have like a rule for no 2 people in a bunk. Besides even plotting and scheming. But you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, kind of.
No?
Not really.
I'm saying if Andor, right, so across the thing, you could jump from your bunk to somebody else's bunk to not touch the floor, right? And you could just keep doing that. Or even so, not even jump, you just crawl around the wall. Yeah. But it would register there was 2 people in that cell.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they have the no 2-person rule.
I just wouldn't want to be in the cell with anybody. I had to be there. I'd want my own.
So once he's there, he meets Kino Loe, who's the 5-2D manager. And they basically explain that there's like 7 people on a table.
I still can't figure out what they're making.
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know. It looks like a part to something.
Yeah,
almost looked like a car they were building, like a weird car. But well, I'm thinking like a part to a ship, probably. But he basically said 7 people on a table, 7 tables in a room, 7 people on a floor. It was like this whole, or 7 rooms and then 7 rooms on a floor. So the floor part is kind of confusing. Like he just basically said there's a lot of 7s, a lot of people on a table, which the whole thing.
Oh yeah, he ran down some weird thing like where they go, 5 people, 7 workstations, 6 people doing this, 6 people.
No, it was all 7. I think it was like 7 people on a table, 7 tables in a room.
Yeah.
7 rooms on a floor.
Yeah, it was like something weird
it
like
was
that.
Like, very confusing. He took his thing like very serious. Like he was another inmate.
Well, yeah, because he has only so many days left, and if he doesn't mess up, I guess he gets the leave. But they asked him about that PORD or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, once and they get back.
He honestly never heard of that because we never heard him hear about it. But
no,
that meant everybody got their thing extended, right?
Yeah, basically, we've never really heard that from anybody but the IBS. But basically, yeah, it made it sound like how Andor's shift was originally supposed to be 6 months, became 6 years. So it seems like the people that were already in prison, it even doubled their sentences as well, not just new people coming in.
It made it sound like that's what they were doing.
So they kind of asked him about this, and basically it seems like because of these rebel actions that are happening outside are affecting the people that are inside. And we also see that inside the cell that they have, everything's there that they could ever, bathroom,
creepy.
Everything. And they eat through a tube of food.
Pull out the bathroom because I wanted to see what the bathroom looked like.
But they have this like tube of food, and if you're the winner of this like of the tables that are in there, you get flavoring added to your food.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know. I think I'd rather it not be flavored in a weird way. Like if it's mush, I think I'd rather it be flavorless mush than I think
flavorless mush.
I think it would throw me off. And then they jump ahead 30 shifts later, and we see him now like working with his table, and that's really, I mean, you kind of see him, I guess, getting better, but it looks like his team's struggling now.
Yeah, he's only going to be able to carry them for so long.
And then that's probably one of the guys jumps the floor, and it ends with Andor, working on the table again, which I'm just curious, like how, I mean, I gotta assume next week he's gonna have to break out because they're not just gonna keep having him in there forever.
Yeah.
And they can't have him.
This show, you never know.
Well, they can't have him serve his full sentence because his full sentence is 6 years, and this is only 5 years prior to.
Oh well,
Rogue One.
He becomes like on, not on.
No, I know, but I'm just saying they're gonna have to release him. They can't, like, if his charge was 6 months, they could jump ahead 6 months, and it really wouldn't affect too much of the timeline, I guess you could say. So,
I'm just not sure what's left to say.
I'm trying to think of how to. Okay.
How to transition. What is that? What you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, to what?
To the ending.
Oh, it's over.
Wait. All right, hold on.
No, they ended it very abruptly too, so there was not much you could do about it because they kind of ended it showing him like working on that stupid whatever machinery thing that they're making. Like,
he kind of left everything, like all the little pieces that we talked about, left open. Like Deidre's now with Bix.
Yeah.
And it's just they show that they're going to question her. Then they show they left Luthen with Saw. Mon Mothra is just still probably circling her home, hosting another party because really that's all she does is host a party. And then Andor working. So yeah, kind of left like everybody where it's gonna have to pick up from next week. So yeah,
I think they like to do that. I think they like that setup.
That's not a good cliffhanger though. Like, you know what I mean? There's a cliffhanger, and then that's just like you just ended it there. Like,
yeah, it's like you could have just finished it, but you didn't.
So that's all for this week. I mean, this one was a little bit better just because I think the whole prison thing was kind of like an interesting, like, to see how, like, it wasn't just like a normal prison. Like, they were very, like, put together, organized, and, like, there was, like, these weird winners and, like, losers of this stuff. It's, it's, I think, a different one than just something, like, you're getting held in, like, cells that we've seen.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they said you'll be amazed at how clean and organized everything is, and the minimal amount of like he didn't say torture,
weaponry.
No, he said something about like it was weapons, but he said something before that about
I don't know
how they're gonna like guard them or something without weapons, and I don't know.
One of the other things though that I wanted to point out because I just remembered it was when they were taking him into this like room where he's working, the guards seemed unput together. There was like this big, they left that scene in, so I don't know if that's how he's gonna escape or something.
It was like weird where they like did all this chitter chatter, and I mean, honestly, the first thing they tell you in security is to not talk about the clients or anybody. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I know what you're
saying. Or not to argue in front of anybody. And they're just sitting there going back and forth about a guard.
Who's late and missing.
Yeah, probably giving him all sorts of information. Yeah, like information like that guard,
I have
obviously.
To assume that
that guard can't be trusted. He's late, so we'll pray on that one all the time or something like that, I feel.
That's what I have to predict. It's probably like a setup for how he's going to get out, is my guess. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe that guard has something to do with like the rebel or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd mention that. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching, or you'll watch it in the future, hopefully, when it goes up on YouTube. Our Tales of the Jedi little recap review is already up, and then on Saturday we're going to post our Beverly Hills reunion finale up, and then we'll be starting the OC next week. And on Monday, this past Monday, we posted our weekly podcast, and next Monday we'll post another one. But we're also going to be posting our favorite Halloween sitcom episode.
Yeah.
Wow. A little bonus episode for you guys. I think that's all. So you can either give us a 4 or a 5. 4 if you think we have to improve, a 5 if you know we're going to improve. And make sure you... You could go, I messed up my thing a little bit. Sorry. You can go ahead and just leave the 5 now instead of having to go back and change the 4, because why waste your time? Just do it right now.
Don't be lazy.
Yeah. And you should subscribe to our podcast wherever you're listening. Turn on the notifications. And if you're on YouTube in the future, or if you're listening to us on a podcast, you could go to YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Don't give it a thumbs down. Instead,
they don't expire, so
leave a comment down below telling us how we can improve. Once again, as always, please, none of these negative feedbacks tell us to get the computer fixed. It's literally in Apple's hands. There's nothing else we can do now, okay? So we're getting it fixed, unless you want to split the bill.
Yeah.
Go ahead and DM us, and we can tell you how you can send the money to us, and how much the bill is. All right, that's it, I think. Thank you guys so much for listening. Future watchers, thank you as well.
Thank you. Hit the button.
Yeah, you almost forgot your line.
No, I said thank you this time.
Wow.